and like putting makeup on, like flipping out their dresses and doing all these like different things. And we're just like, yeah, can we get some headshots for LinkedIn? People ask for headshots. You need headshots, man.
Hey, you do. It's how people know whether you're attractive enough to hire for jobs, you know? All right, we're live.
Oh, there we are. Oh, cool. We're actually live.
Yeah, we got it. We did it.
We're legitimately live.
We did it. We've even got some pre-event chat going on. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are the best.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Let us know about the new scheduling that we're doing. So exciting. All right. Scheduling streams.
God, you sound so awkward, man.
Yeah, that's the story of my life. Dude, you should have seen me at my buddy's wedding. It was like, God, it was bad. I'm glad that I was drunk enough to not be able to, perceive the like little social fuck ups that I was making. I would walk into groups and just be like, hello, I'm joining this conversation now.
Oh my God, you're one of those people.
People were like, what, can I help you? Donnie, you got a fucking problem with how I am?
No, you're just so socially awkward that you go with the like, I'm going to be overtly socially awkward as my bit to start conversations and join.
Precise. You know what? Don't psychologically deconstruct me. Okay?
No, dude, that's good shit.
Come here for a therapy session.
It's good shit.
Be psychoanalyzed.
As long as you have a coping mechanism, that's all that matters, dude. It's all good. At least you're not like one of those people who like stands in the corner and just like judges people from far, and you never actually join the conversation.
Dude, listen, man. I try to get involved.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
I try to be the person that if somebody's awkwardly standing there, that I bring them in. But it's like I'm socially awkward as well, so it like doesn't really. Sometimes it works. I hope people appreciate it. I'm sure they do, but it's like when socially awkward, like that happens, and I'll bring somebody into some conversation. They'll be like, "Ah, look at this guy! What an idiot!" It's like, oh shit, oh how this has backfired. God. Yeah, it's a rough life.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, back to the realm of like not being social at all. Dota 2
has become more social, or it's on the path to being more social. We hope.
Would quite possibly think so, but I don't think so. Roll the intro. We'll talk about it.
All right, welcome to Alchemy Answers episode 43, where we just had a momentous patch where they completely changed how they're doing matchmaking. We have a video on it, so if you're listening in podcast land, go check out our YouTube channel. But basically, what they did is role queue is now for everybody, and in addition to that, you now can queue as either a support or a core, and you have two different MMRs. And in addition to that, there is no longer solo MMR or party MMR. So now you still have two MMRs, but it's for roles. And you can 5-stack, you can 4-stack, you can 2-stack, you can play with a friend, you can solo queue and then pick up people throughout the course of your night as you're playing games. There's many options available to you, and we're going to talk about any questions you might have. I've played 3 games under the new system, so I'm an expert at this point.
Yeah, I've played 2, but my MMR is higher, so technically that's equivalent to about 4 of your games. So you're like an expert. I'm like a master. Like I'm the guy that you learn from. What do they call it? Senpai? Oh no, that's the anime thing. Sensei. Oh yeah, I'm your sensei. I could be your senpai too, actually.
I mean, there's a lot of people in chat who would love for you to be their senpai, I'm sure. We get lots of comments like that, yeah.
That's so sweet. I appreciate those comments. I'm extremely insecure. So getting, anything that's positive is just fantastic for me.
Type "ay in chat if you want Jenkins to be your senpai.
Or waifu. It's 2019.
Or waifu, that's true.
I think I'm a very feminine kind of guy, so.
Well, I mean, that makes you a perfect anime dude, because most of them are like very effeminate, but like cool.
That's true. And they have giant muscles and shit too, right? So it's like
no. See, that's the thing about anime dudes.
The more you're going with it is you're saying
the thing about anime dudes is they're either really, really effeminate or they're like incredibly hulked out. And since you're obviously not hulked out,
perfect mix. You're saying I'm a
because you're not hulked out, you're obviously like the very effeminate one, which is cool. You're still probably pretty cool.
I'm hearing you.
But you're definitely not the hulked out anime dude.
The ball like, and I'm fucking slam dunking it. Like, you are saying I'm a perfect combination.
Like you're Android 17. You're Android 17 instead of being like Goku. You know, I'm sure anybody who watched DBZ will understand that. You're Android 18 or 17, but you're definitely not Goku. Yeah.
Okay. No. All right. I'm a mix between Android 17 and Goku. I'm like Krillin, except not bald. Not yet. That's who I am.
All right, man. Well,
anyway, you want to get to the old matchmaking discussion now?
Let's be honest.
Or we're gonna keep matchmaking.
You're probably a lot more like Master Roshi, just like a fucking creepy old pedophile.
Oh, now we're getting to the pedophilia. Every time with pedophilia, Donnie. I don't know why you're so obsessed with it. Okay.
Questions from chat. Thanks for that segue, Jenkins.
Let's get to it. You're welcome. You're the one who brought up the pedophilia. Let's see. Any patrons, Patreons, whatever you want to be called, you can be called, or any questions. Okay, so Son of a Mitch says, what kind of matchmaking does Unranked use? Does it base match you based off of your ranked MMR, or is there no kind of matchmaking like that for it? So from what I've heard, Unranked matchmaking is essentially just a matchmaking system that doesn't gain or lose you MMR, but it does use your MMR, but just to a lesser degree. It'll just queue you with people that are, you know, within your skill bracket, but it's very lenient. Like I queued with a couple of friends that don't really play that much Dota, just like, you know, gamer friends, and they're, you know, I don't know what's just above Herald, Crusader,
Guardian.
Guardian. There's so many words, and they all mean the same thing. But you know, a bunch of Guardians, and we got like Ancients on the enemy team. So in Unranked, so it definitely includes that. Yeah. Anything to follow up?
Yeah, it's basically so in addition to your two like ranked MMR numbers, you also have a hidden MMR number. I think this is pretty widely known. So you have a hidden MMR number, which is basically the same as your ranked, and the game has kept it in mind like throughout the course of your career playing Dota. So I think it like when you're calibrating, that's where your calibration starts. Its base point from is that hidden MMR number, and then if you like stop and play ranked for a while, it's still going to affect the hidden MMR number as well as your ranked one, and then your hidden MMR number is going to just be it's sort of like persists through everything, as far as I know.
So this isn't a question, but just something that I've been noticing as we're talking here. The Dota 2 game coordinator keeps going offline and then online over and over and over again, and that's been happening since the patch came out of the new matchmaking system. So it looks like they're tweaking a lot of things, which is good. I guess this is a perfect segue to my complaints about it. So I don't know how your matches have gone, Donnie, but my very first match, I queued with my team, and I queued into Ritsu Jubei 747, and then like plus two people. Very, very solid stack. But one of them was on a rank 2500 Smurf. Lukey was on a rank 2500 Smurf. The motherfucker. And we won after this like 50 to 60 minute brawl, like hard game, great Dota, and we got 5 MMR.
Oh my god, that is brutal.
We're queued into 5 top 50 players, one of which happens to be on a Smurf, and we got 5 MMR.
Yeah, that's brutal.
And we instantly got the queue as soon as they queued, because we'd been matching for like 5 minutes, and then they queued and they instantly got us as soon as they queued. So that's kind of where the system's at. And then the next game, no Smurfs, but I doubled down and lost 80 MMR.
Oh my god.
80.
Yeah.
So five-man queuing is basically out of the question. Like, that's not happening until they fix something, straight up.
Yeah, you have to have people like stuck
solution
to one account somehow if you're going to do that. That's why I still think that what I would really like to see them do is create this 5-stack ladder, and then because there's MMR seasons, because there's MMR seasons, I would like it for you to be able, like, essentially what you do is you have a 5-stack MMR that resets every season, and to play in that season, you have to essentially register a team. Like, the first time that you play with the team, you register that team into the ladder. So it resets for every 5-stack that you play with. This is how it was in the Warcraft 3 like team matchmaking ladder. So like for 3v3, you could sometimes have, like, some of the best players would have like 3 or 4 different stacks at the top of the ladder, because they'd, like, 2 of the guys would be the same and they'd like have somebody else that they play with. So, but they'd have 3 different instances of that team, and they'd have to like climb the ladder with a different instance each time.
Right.
So I think that's what I would like to see, because then you would have like your team stack, which you probably mostly play on, but then you could also just have like a bunch of random like 5 stacks that you play with friends. It's like, okay, cool, you register a new instance of that team. You're not really expecting to win or climb the ladder. You just party queue, you have some fun, you get owned, maybe you win, doesn't really matter. But then you have your main one that's like on the leaderboard that you're climbing with also.
Yeah, the system's definitely going to need to get more nuanced. I think the problem is like looking for just one single relevant rank to display. It's not going to be possible anymore. Like,
right. Well, what you could do is you could have the 5-stack rank, right? And then you could also just have your solo queue or like mixed. But then you'd have like 3 different boxes. So you have your core support for mixed, and then you also have a third one that's your 5-stack rank.
You're offering solutions, and I appreciate that. But I'm the type of person that likes to just tear things down.
Sure.
And
like every other Dota player.
I think I'm a very unique person actually in that. I think a lot of Dota players, they really like to build things up, especially with like positive emotion.
Extremely.
And very little negativity. But so here's a problem. So I just said that, I lost 80 MMR, right? So I'm down. I'm down quite a lot on my core MMR. And I don't play support, and I don't really plan to play support.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just perpetually going to have this medal of being ranked 140, and there's like nothing anybody can really do about it.
Right, because it takes your top ones.
I could lose 1,000 MMR. Yeah, I could lose 1,000 MMR, and I'm still gonna have this medal. It's like it gives you this opportunity to have this like max. That's the max that you got over the entire season to some degree. I guess you have that until recalibration happens.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be fixed like in the next season. That's only a problem for this one, really, because in the next one,
the next season you could calibrate with support, get the same MMR based. I guess the question would be what MMR would it be based off of, your lower or your higher one?
Right.
Maybe the two. Like, there's questions. All I'm saying is there are questions with this. But yeah, I'm sitting at rank 140 with support and rank 157 with offlane, with core, and it's like I don't see myself playing support, so I'm never going to drop below that rank. In fact, I'll probably go higher than it, because all the supports that are playing are going to lose MMR, and maybe that wouldn't go higher, maybe that wouldn't go lower. Yeah. It's weird. Like technically, the leaderboards should shrink, because like you have supports, you have cores, right? So I guess on recalibration, if you recalibrate, like I'm gonna be top 100 already, because there aren't 100 people in the top 100 to play core.
Sure.
Half of them are supports.
Hey, shout out to Henry in chat to answer his question real quick, because you're on a new account that probably hasn't calibrated party ever. I think like if you've ever calibrated a party at any point in your account's career, you're probably going to get an MMR. Like, because I didn't have party calibrated for this season, but it still says that. Or sorry, what am I trying to say? I don't know. I
nice one, Donnie.
I ended up just having both. I ended up having both my things calibrated immediately already.
So
But
did I. Yes, so did I.
yeah.
I did hear that some people, they had to play one match and then it showed us calibrated. Like it just bugged. So it might be bugged for you.
Yeah.
But I guess back to I just read my Discord and Henry was asking me if I wanted to play party. I think I'm honestly done with the party MMR. Like there's just no way. There's no way when you're losing 40 and gaining like 5 to 10 or whatever. It's real rough. So the problem is people are queuing in the ranked roles. Like they're queuing into, you'll have like 3 or 4 rank 1000s and then top 100s. And it's like, that's not good matchmaking either. It's almost as if they need to have a different matchmaking for high immortal players, because otherwise you're not going to have these like top quality games to watch on the watch tab, which I think that's a pretty important part of Dota's ecosystem. The fact that you can just like go watch a top pub with like really good players in it, really good plays, and like learn, and when there's no tournaments on, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so
I like that.
the interesting thing for me is that the issue of strict solo queue, because I guess I just kind of didn't even think about it, but I did all of my games in strict solo queue, so I assume that I'm just getting like a standard strict solo queue ranked matchmaking. I didn't see anybody in parties at all. So are you saying that that's the way that you're going to play, is just go with strict solo queue and try and keep playing that way? Sure.
Everybody's doing that at high rating right now. Like everybody played a couple of games, lost 80 MMR from losing one of them, and then said, fuck this. Everybody solo queue.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to try and play not strict at my ranking just to see what happens. Like, I want to see if it's going to be one team of like 5 versus like a 2 and a 3 or something like that. Or like a 1-1-3-1, something like that.
The other problem with this, I'm sorry for keep going on this, it's just that the other problem with this is that people are queuing on Smurfs and just massively increasing like their core support MMR by having people queue on Smurfs. It's just like dumpstering people because they're flying into like a way lower bracket. So
yeah, I mean, that sounds like exclusively a high immortal problem.
Is it though?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I mean,
because like I know there's like ancient divine players that have like Smurfs and shit. They can queue on Smurfs,
right?
Boost
But
their friends
it's so much harder to queue into the correct game, is what I'm saying. Like in Immortal, it's like you said.
No, you play party. You play with each other.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Like that's what I'm saying with Lukey. He played on a 2500 Smurf.
True.
Queued into us. The game is perfectly even because they're all top 50 players. We're all like top 100 players who have one guy who's like would be top 10 if he was NA. So he put the average really high up, the bastard. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So it's this even game, but we don't get an even amount. We don't get 25 MMR for winning it. You know, it's like pretty. They doubled down too. They doubled down. They lost like 10 for losing a fucking balanced game. What a joke.
That's funny. Ugh. I mean, you know, like at the end of the day, Valve said that they were going to try out stuff. And that's my biggest like good takeaway from this whole thing, is that they're willing to try and make like significant real changes to what's going on to try and improve the game. And that's something that everybody's been calling for a long time. And they haven't given us until now, and it's like finally they're actually going to do something.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very happy about it. It's just there needs to be, you know, there needs to be tweaks. Like they need to, which is a given when you're trying something. It's like it's not with the intent of, oh, this is perfect, we're not going to change anything. It's with the intent of changing it for the better eventually.
Yeah.
And I think like Smurf detection is really good, and also just punishment for Smurfs. Like I think. I can't help but feel that a lot of Dota's problems stem from like the really high rated pubs where people want to do like the pro players are doing, you know? And I think that if you threaten to Valve ban from tournaments, people for Smurfing, no pro players are going to Smurf, and it might trickle down, you know, because it's like the whole point of gaining this rank, the whole point of this MMR system is that someday you could go pro. Someday you could play in some tournament. You could play with the right person and play in tournament. It's like the idea of playing pro, that you could rank up and climb the ladder enough that people would notice you and you could go pro if you're good enough. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. And if you were to do that via cheating, there would be no reward for it because you just get banned.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely it's like the fear-based approach to regulating it. I think you could potentially take a more positive reinforcement approach also, perhaps, such as incentivizing people who are the top ranks of a certain one, because then it's okay, you probably don't want to Smurf if everybody's competing for some actual reward other than just being one on the ladder, right?
Yeah, but how would you if you're competing for some reward, you can use boost to get that reward anyway,
No, because the person that plays the most on their account that's really good is going to get it. If somebody
if somebody just has a really high core rating, how do you know? They could play on their main what if I just get people to queue on Smurfs and boost me, and I don't go on any Smurfs, I just get people on Smurfs to boost me? How would you detect that? All you would see is my number, so I would just win whatever the thing is.
I guess. I mean,
it's a complicated subject. It's really complicated. It's not easy. I'm pretty sure there are people that write they write dissertations on matchmaking in games.
Yeah.
It's incredibly difficult. It's taking groups of numbers and making perfect matches between them with all of these other constraints. I'm pretty sure that's a type of graph theory, which is an incredibly difficult math subject. We'll do PhDs in. So yeah, very complicated stuff. But
should we take some questions from chat?
Sure. We can do questions from chat.
Are there any in our Discord for matchmaking for this particular thing that we wanted to talk about?
Yes. Okay. So Son of a Mitch says, also, are there any tips for queuing in the first time in ranked? I have 600 hours played. I've never touched it. I feel like it's probably a different beast. Not really. It's just still Dota.
People will be slightly more toxic. That's the only thing, really.
I guess I would say don't worry too much about your number. Just worry about being good and worry about just being your best, playing your best heroes. Focus on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You'll be Gucci.
I mean, if your goal is to gain rank, which I assume it probably is because it's fun to do that, then take everything that you would do in unranked that you're good at and apply it to ranked, and then don't introduce the random heroes you might play in unranked. Just take the ones that you're good at and the roles that you're good at and play those. That's basically the key.
Yeah. Agreed. It's very similar. At what point do you stop cutting the creeps with axe? Generally, when you have a blink dagger, you go fight. Or when you take the tower, you can do a wraparound on mid, or you can go farm somewhere else and give the lane to your carry. But certainly not before Vanguard or phase boots plus Bracer or something like that. You want to just be strong. Once you're strong, you can start putting your strength elsewhere on the map. I guess that's not a matchmaking question. What am I doing? Why am I answering that? I just can't help myself.
Yeah.
RFX. Stop it with the Kegels. Oh my god. I've tried Kegels. It does nothing but cause me to have problems when I'm trying to sleep, and I wake up and there's other things in my bed that I don't want to be there. If you know what I mean. So stop telling me. Okay.
All right. And the next question is
Dota Head, hey, on the subject of Smurfs, what is your strategy for dealing with them in your games? If they're on your team or the enemy team? Differences. Thanks. Okay, so if you have a Smurf and they're on the enemy team, they're probably going to be playing some sort of Meepo or Alchemist, etc., etc. You want to make sure that you are blocking every single one of their camps. Just Sentry Ward every camp. That's the way to go. Make their game awful, and chances are people on their team are not going to perform to their expectations of helping them secure a game. If there's one person on the enemy team completely focusing them, that's one of the best ways of dealing with Smurfs. Like dooming them, using spells on them. That's a pretty good thing to do. Because a lot of the time, you're gonna lose the game if you don't do that because the nature of Smurfing, unfortunately. If they're on your team, like supporting them is good. I'm not gonna lie to you. If there's like a Smurf on my team, I'm gonna like try to give them a good game. If I know that they're a Smurf,
I mean,
I'm trying to win.
It's kind of what you're trying to do anyway. Like you're trying to give your carry a good game, and if there's a Smurf on your team, the Smurf is the carry. So just try and give them a good game. Like even if they're playing off lane or something like that, they are technically your carry because they're gonna carry you. Carry is kind of like an ephemeral word at this point. Safe lane is more apt, right? Because the carry could be mid. And sometimes it could even be in the off lane if you're swapping lanes. So it's like safe lane, off lane, mid. And then yeah.
Trash Can Magic says, what are the 5 best times to buy Holy Locket?
This is never, we're doing matchmaking questions.
Never.
That's true. Okay.
That's it. We're done with questions from Patreons that are relevant to matchmaking. We have the questions from patrons from this week that were supposed to be answered, but the patch was released, so we thought we'd do an episode covering the matchmaking system.
Yeah.
So we'll do those next week.
Yep.
But any matchmaking-based questions you have in chat, we're all ears.
Some guys revving a nice car outside your house.
Yep, that's I live in a very hillbilly sort of place. People like to show off their shitty like $2,000 Honda Civics that they bought from their cousin.
No muffler.
And they put like a sports muffler on it, or they cut it, or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not a car person, but people drive really loud cars here, and then you look at them and they're like beat up and they have parts missing. It's rough. It's recalibration back. Not that I'm aware of, unless they patched something since we started doing this.
No, I think they said that they're gonna let it ride for like a week or two and then go with like recalibration at the end of that period. That was all in the post. Like they're gonna let it ride for a little bit, take a bunch of feedback, and then introduce recalibration later, I think.
Once everybody has like destroyed their MMR.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that combining solo and party MMR actually makes it harder for players to be found by climbing the leaderboards? Most people that want to get noticed just try to get rank 1, basically. Yes. I would say that. From a couple of games of experience, I would say yes. I have seen people abuse it. My rank is going to be meaningless very soon because people are absolutely going to abuse it.
So the way I would look at it is, if nothing changes, then probably, but I think their entire purpose behind this is for you to like actively try to network while you're playing the game. Like they introduced like the party finder thing where you just like add people to a party finder thing from the battle pass. And I think they're trying to get it so you like play a game, you play with people that you like, and you just start playing with them. And so, I mean, in some sense, it makes it a little bit easier because if you're high rank and you're playing and you run into, you know, an RTZ or somebody and you win with them and they like you and you invite them to play for the next game, like you can continue playing games. And let's say you support RTZ super well. Chances are he's probably going to, like, if you're playing solo queue, he's playing solo queue. Chances are he's going to be like, sure, I'll allow you to support me again next game instead of randoming again.
Let me tell you what I'm seeing on my friends list.
But I'm sure it's all party stuff, right?
I'm seeing Party, Gunner, rank 31, Monkeys Forever, rank 27, BSJ, rank 74, Husky, rank 222, Eternal Envy Smurf, rank 1500. You're doing it! Good job, Immortal players. You're fucking ruining MMR.
Well, that's to be expected.
God damn, dude, every single Immortal party that I'm seeing just has one Smurf. Because otherwise you lose 40. You have to have somebody go to Smurf, you lose 40.
What's so funny is, as sad as that is to see that that's what people are doing, it's just such a Dota player approach to the MMR system. Because what do? Our entire purpose is to figure out how to abuse things that are broken. That's what Dota is. And so this is what high-level players do, is they look for every edge possible to gain MMR. And
Sure, if that's the way you want to look at it.
that's an exploit that you can do. I'm sure it'll get changed, and I'm sure people will talk about it.
This game is just a bunch of high-rated players and a Smurf versus a bunch of high-rated players and a Smurf. Oh, it's so fucked.
Yeah. What I don't understand is why wouldn't you do 2 Smurfs then?
You could. It's just that way you're gonna have only 3 people gaining rank. So,
yeah, but you're gonna gain even more.
Yeah, that's true. So the question is, do I want to be the guy queuing on a Smurf, or do I want to be the guy that's abusing my friends queuing on Smurfs?
It's pretty.
Or
silly.
do I want to just go? Do I want to just go solo queue in a system where my medal doesn't mean anything because everybody's going to be cheating? What's the answer?
I don't know, man. We'll find out. So far I've only played strict solo queue, and that's probably what I'm gonna stick for now. Although I do want to try it party to see what happens. Okay, the problem with C servers is you have 20 to 30% support players and the rest carries. So that would mean longer time to find a match.
The rest carries. That's rough.
I mean, as a support player, you'll find matches instantly because there will be so many matches trying to pull supports into them for like the core players. See, as a support main player, I love this because I like playing support almost every game. But occasionally I want to play carry just to like switch it up a little bit. And so I have carry ticked and I have the 2 support roles ticked. So I'm going to play 10, 13 games of support in a row, and then I'll get a carry game. And I'll be like, this is a nice break from the monotony. And then I'll go back to playing support, and it's kind of like built into the system that I'll get those breaks now. So I'm happy with it.
God, dude. I'm interested to see where they go with it. I'm very interested. I like that they went crazy with it. And I hope they continue this trend of doing big changes to Dota because I think the game needs it.
Definitely. KVK1 says, is the player didn't assign role report limited in number as well? I would assume so. I would assume it just looks like another option. I'm glad that they have added that. It wasn't just
good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be. I've yet to experience that, but that would be very annoying. I would be quite bothered by that. Maybe I'm extreme, but I feel like it should be very punishing for people that queue for ranked roles. They're in this structured system, and then they just say "fuck the system." It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, agreed.
Like you can just choose not to do that. It's not like one of these situations where before you had no. It's just rolling the dice, you know. Now you can just wait and queue and just get a game where you are playing your role. There's no excuse.
Yeah, right. Like you have the option to pick whatever role you want.
So. Yeah, before at least at the very least, it's like okay, somewhat excusable. It's like people are mad. Oh, there's no core roles. I only play core. Oh, I'm feeding down mid. All right, cool. I wouldn't do it. I'd probably play some Pudge or something. Probably get reported anyway for that. But now it's like the most egregious people would be the ones that are queuing for a role and then not playing that role. So I think the punishment should be harsh, but we'll see.
I agree. Okay.
God, CCNC is finding a match.
By himself?
Yeah, rank 3. I've just seen him finding a match for this entire time.
I wonder if nobody is queuing strict solo queue and he's like the only one queuing strict solo queue at that rank or something.
It's actually possible is the thing. I think he just got off Dota. He's just done. Yeah, he did. Just doesn't want to play anymore. Yeah, that sucks.
So if you picked a lane and your heroes are limited and the other party members could adjust, what? Should there be an extra report option for smurfing?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Maybe.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely abusable, but then you definitely need like an Overwatch system.
Yeah.
Because you need somebody to actually go in and do the research of like looking at them.
I mean, you could see like if the person is playing under the same IP address as somebody else.
Right.
You know, there's other like metrics you could you could check and, if let's say somebody does get reported for smurfing when they're not really a smurf, you just have some Steam support dealing with those few cases where you have false positives.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I feel like it would be probably more than a few false positives, because that would be like the go-to. If somebody's like, "How the fuck are you at this MMR? You suck."
Yeah, but then you could check. You could check to see if like somebody's playing at the same IP. You could check other metrics that Steam has playing at the same time. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way that they could be like relatively accurate to the degree where they would only have to hire a minimal amount of support staff to deal with that.
True. Do you know that if your teammate is queuing... Wait, what? Do you know that if your teammate is queuing with core MMR, support MMR? I don't quite understand the question. It just tells you what you're playing when you get into a game.
It tells you the role they're in, so
if they're offlane mid support or offlane mid carry, they're queuing under core. If they're one of the two support roles, they're queuing under support. That's how you know.
Yeah. Yep.
John Callahan, the voice of reason, says, "Isn't this the most opportune time to learn and play instead of worrying about that MMR?"
When is the most opportune time?
No, isn't this the chaotic time right now the most opportune time? Because before they've settled into a system. See, Jenkins, I'm going to answer for Jenkins, because I know that he's very concerned about this MMR number that he's been building up over the last year and a half. And in the past, every time that recalibration has happened, it's been based off of that number. So you don't want to lose like 800 MMR right now and then have to recalibrate 800 MMR lower than you were.
Correct.
That's
that is
the
what
main
I'm
reason.
very concerned about.
Yeah.
That's my main concern, is I know it's going to recalibrate. And if I'm recalibrating, dude, it's taken me so long to get to 7.3K.
Yeah.
So long, so much work, and finally I'm in these games and I'm like stagnating. I'm sitting at the same MMR. It's like that is the only fruits of my labor that is measurable. Being like good, that's not measurable. Most of us don't win tournaments. We don't play tournaments. So it's like, that's it for now. So it feels bad. It feels bad to possibly lose that, or have it be completely meaningless.
What MMR will I get if I recalibrate my solo and party MMR? Because my solo is 5.1 and my party is 6K. So I don't totally know. What happened to me is it just took my highest one and applied it to both the support and core, because party and solo are gone. It's the same thing. You have support and core now. So I would assume that it probably will take your solo, because I think that's sort of been like the metric of what your actual skill is, but I don't know.
I know Killer Pigeon was saying that he didn't calibrate his solo queue MMR, and he calibrated his party, and it was really low compared to his solo. And then again, he might just be saying that. It's Pigeon. But, it feels bad. But anyway, and he said that now he's stuck with this, like, really low solo MMR. Or, sorry, core/support MMR.
Oh, really? So it just took the one that was calibrated?
Yes.
Interesting.
If you have one uncalibrated.
Interesting.
Oh, Pharaoh Jacob said his were merged.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. He said his...
No, he was 3.3K. He was 3.3K party, and now both of them are 6.2K.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, then again, I think my party MMR was actually not calibrated, because I only queue unranked in parties.
My party was definitely like 2K or something like that, because I haven't played party in like 5 years. I think I calibrated it like once last season with my buddy who like just came back to the game. Just playing with him, we lost like every single game. And
that's all right.
I don't know. I never had like climbed party MMR ever. So I hadn't calibrated it this time, but I know that my hidden party MMR was like quite low, and I just applied my solo to both.
Yeah. I know my hidden party MMR is probably like 5K. Something like that. So yeah, it just gave me exactly what my solo was. Like number for number, digit for digit.
Do you think it would be cool to add an option in game to swap role that would be the same as swap hero? I don't feel like that's necessary because
I feel like that encourages people to do some bad behavior.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like just queuing for support and then trying to swap role.
Yeah, I mean, what did happen in one of my games is we had a hero that was picked that would have functioned better as an offlaner, and so the offlane person ended up picking a 4, and the 4 and the 3 switched. And so like you can just like talk it out. However, the guy who was playing 4 and ended up playing 3 was a griefer, and so I ended up reporting him for not playing his role, and it's going to detect that he played offlane instead of support.
That's good.
Because I'm a petty piece of shit. So before the game started, he was like, "Hey man."
Well, he grieved, so fuck him. He grieved.
Right, exactly. But it was like a mutual switch of roles, but then he griefed the game afterwards.
Yeah, so yeah, he can fuck himself. Exactly. Honestly, he's abusing the game. You're abusing the game. He's just doing it a way. He did it first. He threw the first punch.
Exactly.
It's like when Demon was feeding in my game, and then I went AFK, and then he went to Twitter, and he's like, "Jenkins went AFK in my game."
Yeah.
She's like, "Dude, you're griefing. How can I not go AFK when there's people griefing my game?" It's like I reserve the right to not subject myself to that shit.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
Bro, if we play party, our MMR will increase. That is correct. You can play party. You can play solo. It's going to affect the same number as long as you're playing the same role. It's all tied to roles now.
Careful of those Smurfs in party MMR, though. Let me tell you.
It's not going to be happening at like 2K. Trust me.
Dangerous place. You never know, man. Dude, boosters are out of business now because, like...
Are they? Or are they just going to create, like, boosting farms where they create, like, 3 low MMR counts, and then they have, like, 2... Like, let's say they want to get somebody to Ancient really quickly. Then they have, like, 2 Ancient accounts and then, like, 3 low MMR accounts that they party queue together, and then they just boost the low MMR. How does that work? So... What? It just takes the average. Like, it takes your total MMR and their total MMR, subtracts it, and then does the algorithm for figuring out whether it's 25 or 50 MMR or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the average, that's it. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, man.
Jemmy...
Honestly, everything is solved by Smurf detection. If they can somehow solve Smurf detection, then shit's gonna be tight.
Can you choose your roles in your party of 2 to 3 members? Yeah, I mean, you could all just put one role down. You could put offlane, your friend could put carry, your other friend could put support, or whichever support, and then you just queue together, and then it'll find an offlaner and a mid and throw you in a game together.
Yeah, that's what they. That's what we did when we queued. Then again, we queued 5-man, but it wouldn't let us queue 5-man unless we selected all our roles.
Mm-hmm.
Like different roles.
Oh, so interesting. Okay. Yeah,
it's pretty good for that. Unless it was like bugged or something, but
that would make sense.
That's in the system. I'm excited though, man. I'm excited to keep queuing and try it out and just see where Valve takes it. That's all. It's like I'm glad that I feel like this is the start of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's something like way more positive than Dota matchmaking has been for years.
All right, here's a question. Should I stop playing with my higher ranked friends? My party MMR didn't matter as much to me, but now it's mixed. Would it make my solo games too hard?
Probably. Maybe. I would say if you game it, you can do it. If you game it, but if you're just not thinking and just playing party queue, it's going to be dangerous. I would say
here's what I would not do. Yeah, I would definitely, if you're gonna be playing, you don't want to just like randomly be playing with your friends. Like, if you are concerned with your MMR, then you should play with people who are near your skill bracket or above it at all times. You don't want to like play one game with your Immortal buddy and then play one game with your Guardian buddy, because chances are you're gonna win one of those games and lose the other one.
And then go down -40.
Right. And so if you are going to play with people that are much, much lower than you, you're probably better off just playing an unranked. which it was kind of the case anyway, because you could only queue like a certain level below, right? Or in party.
I'm just thinking of a really good joke. Somebody said soft support, and then I realized that could refer to bras. Soft support.
Oh, well, we were already doing the softies joke for 4s and rock hard supports for the 5s.
Oh, god damn it! So I'm the only person that took this long to come up with the sex jokes.
Yes,
is what you're saying?
Exactly.
God damn it!
Sorry,
I'm
man.
sorry. I derailed what you were saying.
That's okay. Is there actual calibration games? We haven't seen any.
No.
Does strict solo matchmaking still exist? It does.
Yes. Thank God.
Do we have a separate medal for core and support MMR? You do. Look at your account. As a Smurf, wouldn't you just queue up with 4 people you want to boost with a Herald account? That is what the high Immortal players are doing at the moment.
You could.
You certainly could.
You know what they could do? They could just make it so that if you're stacking, that you have to be within a certain MMR, and just make unranked anything. Like make it so your team has to be relatively the same ranks. That way, if you get like rank 50, let's say if you're like 7.5k average, you can only queue into teams that are 7k to 8k. So that way, like if people are smurfing, it's not really going to matter as much.
I still think the solution is just to create this five stack ladder.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. But I know that they just released a huge patch, and that's not really a quick fix. You know, that's going to take them a long time to get to, which I hope they do. That sounds great.
Guess so. How much MMR do you gain or lose now from a game? You want to explain the math?
You can lose 5. You can gain up to 45, I think, or 40.
Basically, what happens is they take your MMR numbers and the opponent's MMR numbers, they add them up, they put them on either side of the equation, and then they basically take the ratio of that and apply it to a middle point of 25. So if you're like significantly higher MMR, then you will gain much less, and then the other team will gain much more. So that's how it works, which is why this smurfing thing is a problem at the moment.
Yeah. It's like if you lose, you just don't lose anything. So effectively, if you queue with a smurf, you just gain MMR.
Pretty much, yep.
Which makes medals worthless.
I'm 3K and Q solo only. Should I check strict solo ranked matchmaking in the options? Probably, but I mean, experiment with it. I'm just very curious what it's like to not queue strict solo, because I've been doing strict solo for so long at this point. You have
the big balls.
I just want to see what it's like and see if I can just like play a game and hop on a stack that like grows throughout a couple of games or something like that. We'll see.
Could be interesting. Could also be extremely frustrating.
It definitely could.
What?
Pantera G says, I think this update will put Admiral Bulldog out of business because he's been playing with his subs for the last few months.
Oh, that's rough. I mean, Unranked is honestly good.
I'm sure he's just been playing Unranked, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think Unranked is good, and more people should queue for Unranked. I queue for Unranked anytime I do party, and it's usually pretty high skill games.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's different in other regions, though. Probably not, though. It's probably about the same.
Does my explanation about losing and winning MMR apply to solo MMR or party MMR? Literally both, because they're the same thing now. If you guys want to learn more about what's actually going on, we have a full video about it on our channel, which kind of explains, we discuss the patch, essentially. Do you think Tier 1 teams will now play together in pubs?
No, because they're not going to do the Smurf queuing thing, and they're not going to go lose all of their MMR queuing into Smurfs. That's the problem. Is that they're just going to say fuck this, I think, unless it gets fixed.
Yeah. assuming no fix, probably not. But if it does get fixed, it's definitely possible that it could just turn into like an actual ladder of top tier teams. There's the potential for it to be awesome, right?
It's once again, I know I've said this a dozen times. I'm excited it's the start of something, but it's very obviously the start, you know? Things are chaos right now.
Sure.
Complete chaos.
Yeah, so. I mean, even for me, I played a game. I played a support game, won, lost my next one, won my next one, and then I ended up in because I had offlane and both support roles checked, and so I got into an offlane game, and I doubled down. I was like, oh, awesome, this looks like a good game. Not really realizing that all of a sudden I'm in a different MMR, not playing the support MMR anymore. And so then I lost, and I was all pissed about it. And I was like, and I was looking at my account. I was like, why is my solo MMR not updating? Or why is my support MMR not updating? And then I realized, oh, okay, I lost core MMR, but my support MMR is the same. So my percentage towards the next medal is still the same because it just takes the top one. So there is that kind of weird dichotomy going on right now as far as...
there's this great thing now for me where I'm never going to go below rank 140 on the ladder. That's pretty great. I'm just permanently like an almost top 100 player. Fantastic.
Yep.
But then again, every time I circle back to this, it doesn't matter though because people are just going to boost to top 100 anyway by playing with Smurfs.
Here's what you do. You just boost your support one, and then you just start playing on your core one for the rest of your time. So like every now and then you'll boost your support one, so you just keep going up the ladder. Eventually you'll be a number one player.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. So if I queue party queue and I tag myself as support, that's interesting. That is interesting. I could just boost that. Just use that as my boosted MMR and keep that medal ultra high. Dude, you're giving me ideas. This is great.
You're welcome. Like I said, Dota players just want to abuse stuff, so. Does this mean I can't get the shards from ranked role games from Dota Plus? I don't know.
What shards? What do you mean?
I'm not sure. I guess you could win ranked roles games to get shards.
Oh, yeah. No, ranked roles is gone, right?
I don't know if it's going to... It's probably... If it hasn't already been untied from Dota Plus, it will be soon, right?
It is. It's just ranked.
Yeah.
Now, so, which is good. That's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Any more questions, guys? I think we'll probably take like 2 or 3 more questions and then probably head out, get back on the grind, do some research for you guys so we can actually talk about what's going on.
Vince McGivern. Hey, that's my brother-in-law. What are you doing in here, Vince? Well, having a higher core MMR worth more than a high support MMR. Sadie Bear, that's my brother-in-law's dog. That's weird that my brother-in-law's dog has a Facebook account. Having a core MMR worth more than having a higher support MMR. Yes, cores are definitely cooler and more interesting than supports. So yeah, definitely go for that core MMR. Everything else doesn't matter.
Supports are definitely like the
worthless.
They're kind of like Q behind James Bond. Like James Bond would have died like 5 million times without Q giving him all these cool gadgets and stuff. So really Q is like the super spy, and James Bond is just kind of like a sack of meat that goes out there.
It's like if they took like a high security prison and made everybody fight and just have the worst possible people survive, supports would be like the last people that are still alive, just like the pedophile, gangster, murderer, serial killers is that would be the supports, and cores are like military and firefighters, like heroes, basically.
Why are they in jail? I don't understand what's going on.
It's just a metaphor, Donnie.
It doesn't make any sense though.
Metaphors don't have to make sense. That's similes.
Do you even know what those words mean?
Do you know what they mean?
I'm 100% sure you don't, though.
A simile is when you say something is like something, and a metaphor is when you say something is something.
No, assimilate is different than a metaphor.
I need to assimilate that information.
All right, next question. I was at 90% before the patch, won 2 core games, then still didn't rank up. Any idea why? I don't know. Maybe
because the coordinator keeps shutting down every
certainly possible
4 to 5 minutes.
Certainly possible.
That's possibly why?
Did you think that you were actually queuing for core when you were queuing for support and your support MMR changed? I don't know.
That's possible.
I don't know. Jenkins, you're a complete idiot, my dude. That's not a question, man, but I felt like I should probably read it on stream.
I mean, I already know who wrote that, and he's a complete idiot.
Wow.
And fought with a guy in a pub, and the guy came and gave him the smackdown in the YouTube comments.
All right.
Hockey leaders ask for it all the time. He really does. All right. Let's
should we call it there?
Let's go queue some ranked roles.
You wanna play some games together?
No. Unless you go on a Smurf, then we can.
Well then. Since I don't Smurf, I'm a pure individual. Never thought about Smurfing. Don't even know what that word means. I can't do that for you, but I appreciate the offer.
Donnie, you queued on a Herald Smurf.
I would never do that. All right, guys, that's the end of the stream. See you later!